German police released more new details today about the prime suspect in the 13-year-old disappearance of Madeleine McCann.
What happened to Madeleine McCann?
Madeleine McCann, her mysterious 2007 disappearance from a port.
Just now, 17 years after she vanished from a Portuguese resort, there's a startling update on Madeleine McCann's case. The girl, just 3 when she disappeared, has captivated the world with countless theories and alleged sightings. Now whispers are swirling that Madeleine might have been discovered, injecting fresh hope and urgency into a case that has remained unsolved. Could this really be the breakthrough we've all been holding our breath for? Tune in as we uncover the gripping, fresh details that have just emerged in this ongoing saga. The enduring mystery of Portugal's lost child. Portuguese police are investigating the disappearance of 3-year-old Madeleine McCann. She was last seen in a vacation apartment, and now officers from 3 different countries are working together on the case. This happened 17 years ago and quickly became a global story because of how sad and complicated it was. She went missing from a vacation spot in Praia da Luz, Portugal, while her parents, Kate and Gerry McCann, were having dinner nearby with friends. She disappeared from her bed, sparking a massive search and a flood of media attention that still hasn't gone away. Over the years, many theories, sightings, and investigations have come up, but no clear answers have been found. Authorities have uncovered a clue linking Madeleine's case to another unsolved disappearance, potentially exposing a broader criminal network. To understand why this case is so important, we need to look at how her disappearance has impacted not just her family, but people all over the world. Around 10 o'clock, Kate McCann noticed that she was missing, which caused immediate panic and a wide search throughout the resort. Despite acting quickly, there was no sign of her, marking the start of a long and painful journey for everyone involved. The case drew global attention, with media outlets from all around the world reporting every detail. Public sympathy was widespread, but there was also a lot of criticism. Some people questioned the McCanns' decision to leave their children alone, and many different ideas about what could have happened began to spread. At first, Portuguese police thought she might have wandered off or been taken by someone passing by. But that wasn't the most challenging part. Soon, the investigation took a more troubling turn as the police began to suspect the McCanns themselves. At one point, they were cleared of any blame, marking a major change in the investigation as the focus shifted and valuable time kept slipping away. Over the years, many leads and theories have emerged, from reported sightings of her in different countries to wild guesses about her being caught up in human trafficking networks. Private detectives were hired, governments got involved, and even spiritual mediums shared their insights. In 2011, the Portuguese police decided to reopen the case, and shortly after, the UK's Scotland Yard launched their own review, called Operation Grange. Despite all the efforts and resources dedicated to the search, no solid evidence was ever found. One of the most frustrating parts of this case has been the number of false leads. Every few years, a new development would come up, raising hopes, a sighting of her, a child who looked like her, new suspects being questioned, or forensic tests being redone. Each time, hope would rise, only to be dashed when the lead went cold again. Throughout all these challenges, the McCann family held on to their belief that their daughter was still alive. They never gave up hope, even as the world seemed to move on and forget. Now, nearly 20 years later, the idea that she might finally have been found is both shocking and deeply important. The chance that, after so many years, the truth could finally be revealed brings up mixed emotions: relief, sadness, and fear. Relief that there might finally be answers to the question that has haunted them, sadness for the many lost years, and fear that this new lead might just be another disappointment. The recent wave of hope comes from the identification of Christian Bruckner, a German man currently in prison for a different crime. Bruckner, a convicted intimate violence offender with a history of criminal activities across Europe, was living in the Algarve region of Portugal around the time she disappeared. Since then, investigators have zeroed in on his possible role, digging deep into his past and actions during that period, hoping to finally find the key to solving this long-standing mystery. A new clue emerges, leading closer to the truth. Dark shadows of a strange suspect. The case has been filled with ups and downs, each new piece of information bringing a glimmer of hope only to be followed by disappointment. The emotional roller coaster has been hard to bear, but the possibility of getting closer to the truth keeps everyone going. Could this be the final chapter in a story that has stretched on for so long? Or is it just another twist in a tale that refuses to end? New evidence has placed a suspect, Bruckner, very close to the area where she was last seen on the night she disappeared. In 2020, German authorities officially named him a suspect in the case. However, building the case and gathering enough proof to link him to her disappearance has taken a long time. This recent breakthrough in the investigation is crucial because it includes some very convincing evidence. Reports suggest that Bruckner may have hinted to people he knew that he was involved in her kidnapping. On top of that, phone records show he received a call in Praia da Luz the night she went missing, further connecting him to the crime. Investigators are now thoroughly searching places connected to Bruckner in both Portugal and Germany, looking for any physical traces of Madeleine or any clues that tie him to the crime. For those who have been closely following this case, identifying this new suspect is the first strong lead in many years. Bruckner's criminal history, his presence near the scene, and the indirect evidence all strongly suggest he could be the person behind her disappearance. But even with these promising signs, there is still a long road ahead. Proving someone's guilt, especially in cases like this, requires a lot of solid evidence. Without a body or clear forensic proof, it will be difficult to secure a conviction. However, the possibility of finding her or identifying her captor has shifted the focus of the case. It forces the global community to reflect on the broad impact her disappearance has had and what we have learned about child abductions, law enforcement, and how the media can shape public opinion. If she is found, or if her captor is identified, it will highlight some of the challenges faced by international investigations. For example, the lack of coordination between the Portuguese and British authorities in the early days of the investigation caused a lot of problems. Language barriers, different legal systems, and varied approaches to investigations led to delays and missed opportunities. The case has become a clear lesson in the need for more united international efforts, especially in urgent situations involving missing children. But this isn't the worst part. If Bruckner is proven to be the culprit, people will start to wonder whether he could have been caught earlier if these obstacles hadn't been in the way. The role of the media in her case has also been incredibly significant. From the very beginning, her story has made headlines all over the world, and every new development has been closely watched by people everywhere. This shows just how powerful the media can be in shaping both public perception and the direction of an investigation. The disappearance was covered closely by the media, and this constant attention brought both good and bad outcomes. On the positive side, it kept the case in the public eye. People worldwide saw campaigns like the Find Madeleine posters, which became widely recognized. But there was a downside to all this coverage. The intense media spotlight led to a lot of rumors and dramatic stories. The parents faced harsh criticism, with some news outlets making false claims that hurt their reputation and caused them a lot of emotional pain. When recent news suggested that their daughter might have been found, it brought mixed emotions. There was some relief at the possibility, but also a lot of pain from all the years of not knowing. Even if this news brings an end to their waiting, it would just be the start of a long and difficult healing process. The family's hope shines, guiding the ongoing search. The McCann's last hope amid global spotlight. But that wasn't the hardest part. The unwavering determination of her parents, along with the worldwide attention, has played a key role in keeping the investigation going. Their never-ending hope, combined with ongoing public support, might still be the factors that bring justice. Her story reminds us how important it is to keep looking for missing people, no matter how much time has passed. On a broader level, this case has had an impact on society, making people more aware of the dangers of child abduction. Her disappearance prompted many families to think again about their own safety measures and brought more attention to the risk posed by child traffickers and predators. If Christian Bruckner, the suspect, is proven guilty, it could lead to stricter laws against intimate violence offenders and better tracking across countries. But there's more. Finding her could spark new discussions about justice for those who have been missing for a long time. While the McCanns got a lot of media coverage, many other families aren't as fortunate and struggle to keep their loved ones' cases in the public eye. Solving her case might increase support for other missing persons, encouraging more public involvement in finding them. Throughout all of this, one thing has become clear. This case has shaped the way people think about holding on to hope, even when the odds are tough. Hope stayed alive through occasional sightings, new leads, and the steadfast determination of her parents, Kate and Gerry McCann. Their belief that she might still be alive has kept the search going and influenced how they have dealt with everything over the years. Having the world's eyes on the McCann family during their ordeal has been both helpful and incredibly difficult. The emotional strain of being under such constant attention for so long is hard to imagine. While public interest in high-profile cases like this is important, it also comes with big risks. The massive media attention the McCanns faced was necessary to keep her case in the public eye, but it also made them targets of endless speculation and, at times, unfair accusations. Sadly, parents of missing children often become suspects simply because they were close to the situation. The idea that a parent could commit such a terrible act is something most people don't even want to think about, which can lead to emotional rather than logical discussions. In the case of her disappearance, the media frenzy that erupted after she went missing acted like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it made sure her face and story were known worldwide, which increased the chances that she might be recognized anywhere. This kind of global attention is rare in missing person cases and kept her story in the news far longer than most, which often fade away quickly. But this wasn't the worst part. The tabloid-style reporting brought a flood of mistakes, rumors, and guesses that were treated as facts. This created confusion, misled the investigation, and made the search for the truth much harder. The sensational way the media covered the McCann case, filled with wild theories and baseless accusations, created a mess of false information that made it even more difficult to find out what really happened. But the internet's impact goes further. In today's world, anyone with access to a computer can weigh in on ongoing investigations. This can sometimes lead to useful tips, but can also bury valuable information under a mountain of noise. The global reach of Madeleine's search also showed how different police practices can be from country to country. At first, the Portuguese police were criticized for not acting quickly enough to alert international authorities about her disappearance. Later, the British police faced their own difficulties when they stepped in to help with the investigation. But even this was not the end of the problems. Differences in how the Portuguese and British police operated sometimes caused tension, leading to delays and misunderstandings. Over the years, this case has shown just how badly we need better international cooperation and more efficient methods for handling missing person cases, especially when they involve more than one country. A suspect steps forward, revealing deep challenges. The complex pursuit across nations. When children are taken across national borders, the challenges become even greater. Police from different countries often struggle to work together because of differences in legal systems, languages, and investigative priorities. The McCann case has highlighted these problems for everyone to see, striking a chord with the families of other missing children. While there have been some improvements in how countries work together, the ongoing difficulties in solving this case are a stark reminder that we still need stronger systems to quickly find missing children, no matter where they are taken. But this wasn't the only twist. Recently, the involvement of German authorities, who are focusing on Christian Bruckner as a suspect, has brought new attention to how different countries handle old missing person cases. Germany's interest in Bruckner has given the investigation new life, but it also raises questions about why he wasn't considered a suspect sooner. Looking back, the clues seem to have been there: his criminal history, his presence in the area when Madeleine went missing, and his behavior afterward. Yet the challenges of tracking suspects across borders, especially those with international connections, remain a huge hurdle in solving cases like this. At the heart of this complicated situation is a simple yet profound question. What happened to Madeleine McCann? The possible involvement of Christian Bruckner might provide some answers, but it's unlikely to tell the whole story. Even if it's proven that Bruckner was involved, many details may still remain unknown, and the full truth of that fateful night could stay hidden forever. Not knowing what happened to a loved one can be extremely painful for families in cases like this, sometimes even more painful than knowing a tragic outcome. A new lead in this case has sparked discussions about justice, especially if Christian Bruckner, a known criminal with a history of intimate violence offenses, is found responsible for Madeleine McCann's disappearance. His past crimes and his movement across Europe show the difficulties law enforcement faces in keeping track of people like him after they are released from prison. Madeleine McCann's case highlights the urgent need for stronger international systems to track and monitor known criminals, especially those convicted of intimate violence offenses against children. Different countries have different systems for registering intimate violence offenders. Some keep a close eye on them, while others barely monitor them after their release. This inconsistency allows offenders to travel across borders without being detected, making it much harder for the police to do their job. If Bruckner is connected to Madeleine's disappearance, there will likely be calls for international changes in how intimate violence offenders are monitored. His ongoing criminal activity after being released from prison serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers posed by people who target the most vulnerable, leading to questions about how effective current measures really are. But that's not the only important point. If this case is solved, it could set an example for future missing person cases, especially considering the technological advancements since Madeleine disappeared. New tools like facial recognition and improved DNA testing have greatly enhanced law enforcement's ability to find missing persons. International databases and artificial intelligence have created opportunities that weren't available back then, giving hope to many families still searching for their loved ones. The McCann family's unwavering efforts to keep Madeleine's case in the public eye, using every possible platform to find answers, show the strength of human determination. Their actions have kept the investigation going and provide a model for other families going through similar situations. But this isn't the only thing to consider. Public interest in Madeleine's case shows the power of community and global cooperation in fighting child abductions. The worldwide network of concerned people plays a key role in keeping such cases visible. Recent steps forward in raising awareness and fighting child trafficking demonstrate how Madeleine's case has spurred wider efforts to protect children and implement stronger safety measures. As details emerge, hope and despair intertwine. The quest for Madeleine's truth. This case also reveals a deep human need for answers and truth. The pain of not knowing what happened to a child leaves a lasting mark on families, communities, and even entire countries. For the McCanns, the thought of finally getting answers after 17 years is both hopeful and overwhelming. In situations like this, finding out the truth can be both a relief and a source of new pain, as it may bring closure and a chance for justice, but also force families to confront the harsh reality of what happened. But there's more at stake here. Madeleine's case, while unique, shows the universal human drive for justice and resolution, a need that goes beyond cultures and national borders. It highlights the combined efforts of both communities and individuals to make sense of chaotic events. And it serves as a reminder that, even with all the progress and hard work, some cases might never be fully resolved, leaving some truths forever out of reach. For many years, the mystery of Madeleine McCann's disappearance remained unsolved. Even with all the new technology and better investigative methods, finding justice has been a long and often imperfect journey. If we ever find out what really happened to Madeleine, it could have a deep impact, not just on those directly involved, but on how the public views similar cases. Her disappearance sparked conversations about more than just one missing child. It brought up questions about child safety, the responsibilities of parents, and how countries work together in these situations. As new details come to light, they will likely change public opinion, especially if Christian Bruckner is proven to be involved. Cases like Madeleine's make us think about our values, especially when it comes to protecting those who are most vulnerable. Another important issue that has emerged with these new developments is how they might change future investigations. Lessons from the McCann case show how critical it is to act quickly in cases of missing children. The first few hours are essential for collecting clues, interviewing witnesses, and coordinating efforts across different borders. In Madeleine's case, valuable time was lost due to delays and misunderstandings between police forces. This has led to calls for better response plans, like creating special international teams for child abduction cases and improving how information is shared between countries. A big challenge in Madeleine's case, and in many similar situations, is handling the huge amount of information that comes in, such as tips and supposed sightings from all over the world. What are your thoughts on using advanced monitoring technologies for offenders? Like, comment, and subscribe to join the discussion and stay updated on this critical issue.